night before Christmas to be good.
And in 3, 2, 1, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 4 of the 9th annual 12 podcast of Christmas. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Francois the Nation.
I am Andrew Sorsdahl.
And I am Yugi Moto.
That was quick.
Wait,
it's weird. I'm so like
I'm now we're caught off guard because it didn't take you 5 minutes to decide who you were going to be today.
I'm so accustomed
Also,
to
it's
waiting.
it's also like I feel like if you're going to pick a different person to claim to be, you should adopt the full personality of that person. No. Yeah, like it's a little disappointing. You spend all this time figuring out who you are.
I think that the person that calls himself Yugi Moto should adopt my personality because I'm the real one.
I do like the comedic value in being like, I am this person, but you make no attempt at emulating them in any way. It's just like...
Yeah, it's a little disappointing when it takes... This time it's fine, but...
It's like, I am Mothra. And it's like...
Okay,
you're
and
really
then
not.
we carry on. Yeah.
I mean, very, very, very difficult to disprove that I'm not. Empirically.
Mothra? I
think it's very, very difficult to disprove.
Like the building size.
The building size kaiju?
Like I said, I think subjectively, sure, disproven instantaneously. Objectively, very difficult to disprove that I am not who I say I am.
I don't.
Moving on.
I don't even know. You bring up interesting philosophical quandaries.
I think it's important for people to recognize that I'm not identifying it. I am Yugi Moto.
I see.
For those of you unfamiliar, Yugi Moto was the star of the inaugural run of a show based on a trading card game. And the trading card game came from another manga. And then the trading card game was more popular in the manga than the manga. So they made a trading card game. And then they made a TV show about a trading card game from a different manga. Did you know that?
I'm trying to follow what you just said. So there was a manga
that
featured a trading card game
called Duel Monsters.
Yeah, and then they made an initial actual physical trading card game based on that original trading card game. And then that first trading card game wasn't very good. So then they made a TV show, and then coincidingly with that TV show, they did an updated version of the card game. Is that what we're saying?
That is correct.
Okay.
That is the original Duel Monsters cards, the Japanese ones for the manga. Very limited run. Hardly any of them exist anymore. Mm-hmm. They look like they do in Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's just like the attack, the defense, the full-size picture of the monster, and simple. Nothing on the back.
Yeah, I feel like it was probably an attempt to do like a simplified Magic the Gathering, and then they ended up just, I don't know, it was weird because like Yu-Gi-Oh ended up being, I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh is like any less complex than Magic now.
In certain ways it was, but in other ways it wasn't.
It's crazy now. I recently just watched a video about how the game works now.
Yeah, I know it's probably really well balanced now, but I know that when we were kids, the game was horrifically balanced.
They have
there were so many like game-breaking monsters.
There's like a sweet spot at the end of when we were involved in that world, and they have a name for that card set and rule type that a lot of people, they still do tournament, like $50,000 cash prize tournaments
like
for that.
The people really
iteration of the game
enjoy.
I think it's gotten way too complex now for like a lot of people.
So at that point, just play the better thing, which is Magic. Like,
yeah.
The cards look so much cooler in the show than they do in real life. Like having the borderless picture of the monster was so
I don't
cool.
know. Okay. This is what I don't like about Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Some of them do this, some of them don't. And Magic actually suffers from this sometimes as well. I really love the lore, like the one or two sentences of lore that are on the bottom of the cards. And I don't know why and it's the same with Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like sometimes in Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards they'll have like Blue Eyes White Dragon, it's like this fearsome dragon, whatever, is like could kill you with a single look or whatever. And then, but some cards don't have anything and they'll just tell you the raw, like, what this card does. Like, it's like you can't come up with a sentence for every fucking card. Like, every card looks cool.
None of the effect monsters say anything about them.
Yeah,
they just say what the card does.
Yeah. Which is kind of lame.
I don't know what Trap Master's all about. I know that he can disarm a trap, but
I don't know. Like, I think
I totally made one up. Like
Trap Master.
I made one up for the show. Just like an example for you guys
You invented it.
on the show.
Yeah,
No, what are its stats?
he doesn't still know the.
I don't have all this memorized.
Yeah, there's no way. That'd be crazy.
Wait, is that a real card?
No way.
Okay, on
I'm
this
so
segment
confused.
of how fucking much of a loser am I?
Did you invent this or did you not? I'm so confused about what just
No,
happened.
I didn't. It's a real card.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
actually
You
what
just
it does.
invented what it does.
He wears like a top hat and he's dressed like a clown and he has like a fucking saw blade for an arm. He's an effect
This
monster.
kind of rings a bell, I think.
Okay, I just thought of an amazing segment that we can do throughout the episode. Either of you pick one of the first 151 Pokemon
Oh boy.
and ask me when it evolves or what level it learns a particular move at, and you can double check it online, and I will see how close I can get, because I bet you I can get pretty fucking close.
Bellsprout.
What do you want to know?
When does it evolve?
Level
And what does it evolve into?
Level 16 into Weeping Bell.
Okay, and then
Victory Bell by use of a Leaf Stone.
it has to be a leaf stone.
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Oh, that's very basic. I have a much more in-depth knowledge than that.
We're just starting things out.
Say if you want to fact check, you can.
Ghastly.
Evolves level 16 into Haunter and then evolves into Gengar by trading to another player.
I knew that one. The last part of that.
I see you have some cards there for us, Andrew. You can just ask me intermittently throughout the
Sure.
show. I can't be sorry.
So if you had to you have to either get plastic surgery to look like Marilyn Manson, or
Current Marilyn Manson or like peak Marilyn Manson?
let's say peak. You're never going to look really like him anyways, because it's like plastic surgery to emulate that.
He looks bad now.
Yeah,
He
it's
looks
real
He
bad.
looks
Really?
melted. Yeah,
Oh,
he
it's
looked
bad.
He looks like Marilyn Manson, but
A caricature of himself.
he's a wax figure that you left in the sun.
What did he do?
Oh, he's
Just
getting
aged
old,
poorly?
man, I think. Yeah.
So either that or have an incurable disease that is slowly turning you into a garden gnome.
He's starting to look
Garden
like
gnome. I love
Adam
gnomes.
Driver.
What?
He's
No.
starting to look like Adam Driver.
Are you? What? Adam Driver's youthful and has tight skin.
Yeah, he looks a lot like
Marilyn
Adam.
Manson's like drooping horrifically.
So we'll say peak Marilyn Manson.
Adam Driver could play a young Marilyn Manson in like a film. Because he's got the thinness as well. Like Marilyn Manson isn't really thin
Thinness,
anymore.
big nose, face
Yeah.
shape. Yeah.
Marilyn Manson's whole look were great in like the early millennium when he was like rail thin and fucking like gaunt and like tight fucking skin, and his whole vampire shtick kind of worked out. But it's like now that he's aging, it's like I don't know, man. I don't know if the black lipstick and dyed parted hair is doing it for you
Oh
anymore.
man, Adam Driver could play him so hard.
Fuck yeah.
So is that who you're picking? You're going to pick plastic surgery to look
I
like.
didn't hear what it.
So you either have to get plastic surgery to look like Marilyn Manson, like extensive, like you're like one of those people who's trying to look like Kim Kardashian, but it's Marilyn Manson,
And I've had no cosmetic body modifications up to this point.
or have an incurable disease that is slowly turning you into a garden gnome. I'm with Fran. I think I'd take the garden gnome thing.
Yeah, it would be much more life altering for sure.
Yeah.
Ah, God, I don't know. Fuck. I would. God damn it. I guess it's sort of predicated upon. I feel like if I was able to monetize the transformation process and become famous because of it, then I could still get laid by like weird women who want to get clout. But it's like it would really suck to just be a gnome all of a sudden, like be like this. Like when I'm thinking about a gnome, I'm thinking like kind of this height, hat included. And
I think eventually you get there.
No,
I
but
think
are you turning into like a petrified garden gnome or like a garden gnome shaped
Oh no,
size
I think
of
like a
pure
real
man?
like if the fantasy animal or creature.
See, I was thinking like
existed.
I'm eventually turning into an inanimate.
No.
In that case, I would rather be alive. And
No. I think
do
the whole
Marilyn
thing is
Manson.
like
Can you-
there's this new disease that's
how
turning
sh-
people into
How
gnomes.
shitty would that be to be Marilyn Manson listening? It's like, would you rather be dead or look like Marilyn Manson? It's like,
I might pick dead.
it's like crying.
No, I'll take Meryl.
Marilyn?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I think that's kind of the logical answer. It was like
dreams are
really.
made of this.
Yeah, you don't sing like him. You just look like him.
Who am I to decide?
I don't know. I got to take the gnome thing. I think there's
No, but then you do a Marilyn Manson lookalike thing. You train your voice to sound
No,
like him.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying that the Marilyn Manson is hands down the logical choice because your quality of life is going to change very little. Like,
yeah, but like you could.
you're just a human being who looks different. But a gnome, it's like I gotta consider this. It's just like I'm a big fan of gnomes, so I feel like it's beholden to put my money where my mouth is, and maybe try out the gnome thing.
I mean, I want to maybe understand a little bit more about what it's like to be Brad in that existing is much shorter than the people around me.
Yeah,
I want to experience that like resentment. You know,
it's like, would you rather be? Brad's like, would you rather be you or look like Marilyn Manson? And he's like, fuck, I guess I'll look like Marilyn Manson.
Some of them want to be abused. I might start a Marilyn Manson cover band now.
yes.
You find great success in Saskatoon.
So what do I call it? I call it.
I know like next to nothing about Marilyn Manson's music. I've never been a fan.
The cover band?
No, my cover band.
No,
Yeah, you're saying what are you going to call the Marilyn Manson cover band?
Yeah, like
You need like a murderer from recently, like a Picton. So like
no. I need to call it like what the fuck is Johnny Depp's Amber Dahmer?
I wouldn't pick. I'd be like Britney Spears would be a better Marilyn Manson.
Brittany Dahmer?
Yeah, Brittany Dahmer would be a great. Well, Dahmer's also old. That's too old. Like you got to pick somebody who's more recent.
Brittany Zodiac Killer.
No, that's even
Brittany
less.
Green River.
That's even less relevant.
Brittany Green River
I
Strangler.
think Brittany Picton would be
Who's
good.
yeah, Picton wouldn't be bad. He's pretty recent.
What about that Toronto guy they just
It's got to be an
discovered?
American killer though.
Yeah,
don't
who's
know.
like a recent American serial killer?
Could be a mass shooter instead. Could be like Brittany Roof or Brittany Lanza.
Has anybody started a death cult recently?
No, they're just too fake. You have to use Gacy or Dahmer. Brittany Gacy, Brittany Dahmer.
I'm just saying it doesn't
Christina Dahmer.
really work in the same way. You need somebody who's got like that's the whole thing is like
Yeah, but I mean,
It was current at the time.
well, it
he
wasn't
started.
current, but it was like
It was already
it was
20 years
It was
old.
like it was more than that. It was like 30 years ago. But I mean, like still, it's
It
like
was still at the forefront.
yeah,
of-
you want the things like Britney Spears. That's a great one. That is a great synonym for Marilyn Monroe for like right now. It's like that she was popular like 22 years ago in the millennium. That's like a pretty good, and she has had that same cultural effect.
the problem is that
or
Marilyn
like
was
Princess
dead. I
Diana
gotta
would
find
be
someone who died. Yeah.
Princess Diana would be a good
Amy
one.
Winehouse, so like Amy, but she wasn't like a sex symbol in the same way. I wouldn't say.
And Madonna's essentially
What was,
dead.
what was Princess Diana's maiden name?
Have you seen the latest videos that she put out? Oh my god,
Madonna? Does she look like a troll?
it's just like fully off the deep end, like twerking and like she's like too old to be doing this, and it's just
She's like
oh,
60.
Yeah, it's not good.
We're all going to be old someday, and I'm going to try and put my balls on TV.
Fuck! I can't believe I can't think of any fucking like famous
Nobody's been killing as much,
semi-modern.
you guys.
Huh?
Nobody's been famous like
Man,
that.
Dahmer might be the right one, actually. You might be right. It might be the best one, might be like Diana Dahmer or something like that. Because it's like, then it's like two people from around the same era. That's about 30, 35, 40 years ago. That kind of computes. That kind of fits. Diana Dahmer wouldn't be a bad one. That's the best one I can think of right now off the top of my head.
Some of them want to be abused. He covered that song by Aqua, didn't he? Or Aqua, what are they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember what the original band is called. It's not Aqua.
Fuck. I'm going to be ridiculed online by our viewer.
Yeah, I can't remember what the original band is called.
That was a good one, Andrew. You actually picked a good one.
Before we get into another one, I'm very interested. Have you guys seen the trailer for the new David Harbour Christmas movie that's going to be coming out soon?
It's like he's the kind of the badass Santa.
Yeah, it's called Violent Night, and
Yeah,
it's
right.
it's like the same people who made Nobody and some other action movie, and it's
I have
like
not seen the trailer.
it looks awesome. It looks like the new amazing Christmas movie.
I think there's another new amazing Christmas thing coming out.
This Christmas story sequel.
The web series for the Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
Oh, it's a web series?
There's a series, not a web series. It's a Netflix series.
Oh, I see.
I really don't care for the Tim Allen Santa Claus movies at all. No.
Next, you're going to tell me you don't like this. That Nick Cage has finally received the script and is reviewing for National Treasure 3.
They're doing a National Treasure TV series.
They're not sure yet. They have a script for a feature
they are
film.
doing. I know they are doing.
But
I
don't know if he's in it.
No, he's not in it. I'm just saying it'd be weird
to do both.
To do that because like they're doing the TV series, so it's like it'd be weird to have like a.
Well, he's gotten the script
as the TV series. I would love it, man.
I mean, it's not going to come out at the same time. If he's just gotten the script now, we're 5 years.
I would actually love it if you got like some fucking because like the bones of that fucking thing are rock solid. You get like a couple really talented writers to come in and come up with some fucking like really well thought out, well constructed conspiracy theory bullshit and like a plot that actually has like a nice fucking ending and payoff. You could have a cool ass fucking series because like National Treasure is a lot of fun. It's pretty juvenile, but it's like
what's the second one? I don't even remember the second one.
Book of Secrets.
Where
they have the president's book and
the two Resolute desks have. They're looking for the City of Gold.
Yeah,
like El Dorado and it's behind. I just watched it last night. It's behind Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they find the City of Gold.
And is this like City of Gold thing? It's like my family's always been searching for the City of Gold.
No,
the first one was more like that.
Yeah. The second one is.
The second one's like my family's always been searching for the City of Gold. And the third one is my family has also been searching.
No,
for the
Andrew, you're being
town
unfair. His grandfather is being.
That's more of an Indiana Jones.
His great grandfather is being indicted. Not the right word because he's dead, but he's being blamed for being part of the assassination attempt against Abraham Lincoln. And
yes, that's actually a great inciting incident. It's like trying to clear your family name. Fuck, man. If you just because they're like I said, I think the bones of those movies are like super fucking strong. It's like if you just had somebody that could like up this choreography and up the like just like kind of how they get from one scene to another and just like a little bit the writing was just a little bit tighter and a little bit less like it just feels like sometimes you're saying random stuff because like National Treasure is like the perfect in between there's like Indiana Jones and there's like the Da Vinci Code and then in between there's National Treasure where it's like they're doing like all the cool adventure stuff but then they're also trying to integrate the like some of the conspiracy stuff and trying to like work in all this historical stuff and it's like I feel like that is a great idea but you just have to have a writer who can like make you believe that this stuff can all fit and sometimes in the National Treasure movies I'm like yeah that's really cool how
first one
that
was pretty decent.
But then sometimes I'm like, it feels like in the Da Vinci Code when it's like, mans have holes. How many holes do men have? 3 holes. 3. That's the number of planets. The sun. There's Venus, Mercury.
It's beneath the
Earth.
Trevi Fountain.
It's like, it's like I don't know, man.
I think they should do the Da Vinci Treasure, and have the two series merge. And then have Nick Cage try and act against Tom Hanks, and Tom Hanks just make.
But they actually have to swap faces.
Nick Cage would wipe the floor with Tom Hanks. He would wipe the fucking floor with Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks could not fucking. Tom Hanks has not had to act in like 30 years. Like, when is the last time Tom Hanks didn't just do Tom Hanks doing Tom Hanks?
That terrible Elvis movie I didn't like.
Where he played the Jewish manager?
Yes.
Yeah, he kind of put on an accent,
Mr. Dressup, he was not himself. Or Mr. Rogers, he was not himself.
I don't know. I feel like all these are kind of like Tom Hanks type roles. It's like you get like kind of an old man. He maybe warbles his voice like a little bit.
Oh, you don't think Tom Hanks...
the Disney movie too.
What about like Sully? Like he had to be like Sully,
an old man, and like warble his voice a little bit. It's like he kind of has his thing. It's like
Castaway was probably the last time he had to really like fucking act.
Yeah, then he had to like fucking emote.
Nick Cage
which
is just
crazy.
Scary on film.
Sometimes, not always.
And like in this one, he does this thing.
Cloud Atlas, he had to talk in the weird future voice,
googly gook language,
a bunch of things.
Googly
Would you rather have to kill an animal every night and sleep in its carcass? That's how you sleep, is in a tauntaun.
Okay.
Or
done.
News gets out that you are the last surviving Nazi.
Is it okay? Wait. I got a clarifying question with that one. Am I actually a Nazi? Or am I just, is it kind of like the culture is just like, they believe I'm a Nazi, but there's actually no evidence. So it's like,
So you're going to,
because it's like,
you're going to use this opportunity to remove yourself from that group.
I'm saying news gets out.
No, it's more like if I'm actually a Nazi, I'm going to get fucking hung. So like, that's kind of a death sentence. Or like, the Mossad is fucking after me. Like, I'm probably going to die. I can't avoid the Mossad. They're one of the most effective fucking killing forces on the planet. They get everybody. Nobody escapes the Mossad. But it's like...
A few have.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, in South America,
it's like,
a few
I guess like the ones that have, we don't know about them.
Yeah.
It's like they've escaped. But it's like mostly...
I'm going to say
the Mossad... And the thing is, in this one, it
says news gets out.
They know. So the Mossad is... They're going to kill you.
I'm also saying...
If it's true.
I'm also saying news gets out. To me, that's interpreted as... It's true, and now it's just getting out.
I have to do the other one. I can't be a Nazi. I can't be associated with that organization.
You have to kill an animal every night and sleep in its
I'd have to. I can't.
Like a tauntaun.
I don't want to be a Nazi one, and I also don't want to die from the Mossad assassinating me.
I mean, also just purely because it's a Nazi, I'll do the animal corpse thing.
Here's the thing.
There's your counter. This is why it's good to be a Nazi.
There is a lot of leeway with saying you're a Nazi. Because the only people that they really go after are like SS prison guards and people like, I could just be like ranked member that just had to have a member number.
Oscar Schindler was a member of the Nazi Party.
He was a Nazi, technically.
Can you imagine? It's like, I love it.
Word gets out that I'm Oscar Schindler.
It's like totally against the spirit of the question. It's like, no, but I was a Nazi that was helping free Jews. I was only in it to free more Jewish people. It's like, okay.
You can spin it, maybe. That's part of the answer.
Okay.
Maybe you spin it that way.
Clean black boots. Beautiful wardrobes. Mercedes-Benz, anyone?
With the little slit,
all the golden
slits on the...
This next little bit is where we're going to have technical difficulties.
All the golden teeth you can eat.
What? I like the golden teeth, and it's like... Then maybe...
His name is Malcolm.
You might be more upsetting...
We must feed him.
Feed him golden teeth.
Feed him gravel.
I'm what?
I'm just saying, it's like you have your Nas, but then it's like you're the guy who shows up to the Nazi rally, and then you're like, let's start eating these golden teeth, and they're like, you're not in it for the same reasons as the rest of us.
Yeah, but if you're Hitler, then everyone just starts chewing on golden teeth.
So wait, now you're
talking about being Hitler?
Now you're Hitler. And you're trying to institute a golden teeth eating.
What's crazy is that's probably not the first time Brad's heard someone say, you're Hitler to him.
Anyway, back to Ghastly. Learns Nightshade at level 22. Kind of an interesting little fact.
What about Oddish?
Don't just pick 3-form grass starters. Like, why are you being such a dick? Pick something cool. It's like, hey, what about Butterfree?
What level does Pikachu learn Thunderclap? If that's I don't know. Thunder Wave.
Fuck you, Thunderclap. You know that's not a move.
I don't know.
Sounds like it could be a move.
It's not
you guys have both played Gen 1 Pokemon long enough.
Yeah, we did, but we weren't like fucking weird little obsessed motherfucker.
Yeah, Thunderclap.
No, but I'm just saying it's like it's hard for me to like remember which
on the spot come up with
which
like things to even ask
generation
you.
Things were in. It's like I remember which Pokemon were involved, but I don't like
exactly.
The moves are more difficult to remember when they were coming because they all are like Thunder Shock, Thunder Jaunt, Thunder Balls, Thunder. It's like
Thunder Shock, Thunder Wave,
something.
Thunderbolt, Thunder. Those are all the electrical moves, and Thunder Punch are all the electrical moves of Gen 1.
So even you forgot one.
I didn't forget it.
Well, I'm just saying there was even a delay there, and now everything you say, it's like I don't know if I can trust it. What if you forgot another one?
Does Mew evolve into Mewtwo?
No,
they're totally separate.
Mewtwo was created.
Mewtwo's a
from
clone.
He's a clone. Yeah. No, I
didn't
know
is that
that.
the lore? Yeah, that's the lore in the game, right? Or do they ever even talk about Mewtwo's lore in the video game?
No.
He's just kind of in a cave.
He's like, he was built in a lab by evil people instead of our island. And
you guys ever watched the
Pokemon movie 2000? Yeah.
No.
Saw in theaters.
I did too.
Wait,
yeah.
Pokemon the first movie is the one with Mewtwo. Pokemon movie 2000 is the one with Lugia.
Oh, never mind. I saw the first one in theaters.
Dickhead.
I saw both of them in theaters.
But no. They did but I think it was like 3 or 4 episodes, but they did like a little anime of like it follows the events of Pokemon Red and Blue rather than like it doesn't have Ash or any of that shit, but it's like they literally take the events of the game and then they made it an anime that's like 4 or 5 episodes. And then it was really cool. And then it culminates with like in the cave with Mewtwo, like that's the last thing. And it was really cool. The only thing they added that was really weird was because at the time they had, I can't remember what they called them, but it's like they added like another evolution for everybody, like mega evolutions or something, I think they were called. Like Charizard had 2, I think. You could turn to a black one or something else. And
I don't know anything about the news. I've seen that, but I don't know the details.
But yeah, but anyways, that was like the thing at the time when this anime was coming out. So the whole show was like, this is incredible. It's like everything people who like Gen 1 would like. And then at the end, Charizard mega evolves. And I'm like, you just had to not have that one thing, and it would have been like super canon. And it's like it's cool or whatever, but I'm like, what a weird.
The two coolest things I've seen about Pokemon in the last 10 years are there's 2 awesome mods to the Game Boy Advance games, and number 1 is you can play as Team Rocket, which I fucking told you about, which is fucking sweet. Yes, and I beat it.
Isn't it awesome?
And then you can play through the manga, like the show, in the game. It's like they remake, they remake all the towns like they actually exist in the show, and all the
that's super cool.
Every like episode where like a thing happens, like you're in the cave, you go through the whole show, like every episode.
That's one of those shows that just really doesn't fucking hold up at all.
Oh, it's terrible.
I tried like introducing Drew to it, and it's like when he was much younger, like 5, he was like really into it because it was, there's still
flashing colors.
Well, they're still into like lots of repetition at that age, and it's like 5 minutes of something happens, and the rest of the episode is like recap and next week this will happen, and it's like every episode is like it feels like 50% recap, 50%.
The thing I remember most about Pokemon was getting way too into guess that Pokemon during.
Who's that Pokemon?
Between the fucking.
It's Pikachu. It's Clefairy. Fuck.
I just had my paper Pokedex, and I just roll through, and I just memorized what the silhouettes of every character, every model looked like.
It sounds like Brad might have a bit of an obsessive tendencies, some obsessive tendencies.
I couldn't be out there changing the world yet, so I found something to focus my energy on, so I just memorized all of it.
It's very funny. It's like when you're a kid, and it's like you having any idea like what's cool or what's not cool, or like any perception of what like society as a whole thinks is like.
You just like genuinely like this.
Yeah,
it's also what your friend group is into as well.
Yeah, sure, but I mean, it's like whatever. It's like you latch on to things, but it's just funny the things people will latch on to and then obsess over, and then it's like
I just like
it's just like it's such a pure like I need to fucking know what every fucking thing looks like, and it's like it's the same thing. It's like I think back to when I was a kid and like watching Star Wars, and it was like I had this obsession with knowing every single planet, every single species of alien, like what all this fucking weird technical data that it's like, why do you need any of this fucking information? It's like it will never come up. No one will ever ask you what the Rhodian planet like. Why? Why do you want to know this? It's like incredible.
I'm going to go ahead and assert that that's not like a universal childhood experience, because like I don't know if I ever went into that much detail about anything. I enjoyed things, but I never, and no one I personally knew ever went like that deep into Star Wars, for example, or that deep into Pokemon. Like
Star Wars I was obsessed with. I was obsessed with dinosaurs big time. I could also tell you like, can't really do it anymore. I still have some reserved knowledge, but it's like I would. There was a time in my life when you could open up an encyclopedia of like a dinosaur encyclopedia, and then you could point at one, and then I'd be able to tell you this is the era they lived in, this is what the era was called, this is what they think the diet was. Like I could like that, and it was like this is weird. Like why? Like this is too much. This is too much. This is more than I like this dinosaur because it has big sharp teeth type thing.
I think the one reason I got so into Pokemon is when I was at the farm. I mean, in hindsight, this isn't a bad thing, but I only had Cartoon Network at the farm, and those shows were all great. But I just like could get YTV at my grandma's in Cabri, so it was like Cartoon Network sucks. YTV is everything. So when I'm there, I'm watching fucking YTV. Like I am, and that like the funny thing is like the segments in YTV were called like The Zone.
Yeah.
I was in the zone. It was like I was like fucking taking that information.
Oh yeah,
like,
you're as enamored with
Yeah,
Sugar
yeah,
and
yeah.
Carlos as I am.
Yeah, it's just like
Oh, Sugar.
all the fucking like Beast Wars reboot, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Can we just whoa? Can we just stop and talk for a second about Sugar from YTV and how much of a
Do you know what her actual legal name is?
I don't even want to know.
Sugar.
She'll always be Sugar.
Maybe. Her like she goes by Sugar Lynn Beard. Her last name is the word Beard. But I can't remember because like her nickname when she was young, like really young.
Stephanie Lynn Beard. You're right.
Stephanie, yeah, I was gonna say I don't think it was.
I
it was-
didn't want to know that.
They called her dad called her like Sugar Baby when she was like really young or something. I watched some interview with her
Jesus.
talking about
That's kind of
From
fun.
Scarborough, she just turned 41 in August.
I follow her on social media.
She doesn't look a day over 30.
She is aged. She is
In my mind.
She is for sure.
In
I was
my
gonna say your mental image of her, but she's aged. But no, she
was in that,
She doesn't look bad. She just like
The last image I have of her is in Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates as the sister. That's the last image I have of her.
So you know how she's like full frontal bush in that movie or whatever?
Oh yeah.
There's a film, I can't remember what it's fucking called, but it'd be easy enough to find it because just look at her Wikipedia page, where she's like full on. It's basically pornographic. Like it's some movie about.
I have her filmography right here.
Yeah, it's about. I think it's about like a couple who want to start trying like polyamory, and that's like the basic premise of the plot. But I remember, yeah, like I was listening to an interview and she was talking about it, and like she was kind of like, "This is gonna be my big break." It's like, oh god, now you're just in a movie where you're getting railed the whole fucking time.
Oh, she's in the Disaster Artist.
Yes, very briefly, very briefly.
She is the voices for Baby Carrots and Cookies and Sausage Party.
Yes, I knew that
Good.
as well.
For a Good Time Call, is that what you're talking about?
Probably.
What else? She was on the Red Green Show.
Yeah, that makes sense. She was
She was like
King of the Hill, Mindy Project.
she was a
She did her
Canadian
own episode
celebrity.
of Drunk History.
cool.
She should really, I don't know.
She should do more of what she was initially succeeded
She
at.
should lean into the Canadian thing.
Lean
'Cause,
into
like,
and do like like the whole host thing was she was really good at that.
like
Do something in that vein, maybe.
she's not gonna be a big
Maybe come appear
Hollywood star.
maybe like appear on like a very local indie underground podcast, maybe.
She's probably
Or something or whatever.
She's probably
Or not,
attainable.
or maybe
she's
that's
probably at
crazy.
an attainable level.
Attainable level?
Like to actually like interview her sometime.
Oh well, yeah, maybe. I
Maybe
don't know.
eventually
She
if
has- yeah.
everything as we know it changes in our lives.
It makes me a little sad because she like I have her on social media. Like every time like she's obviously interacted with a lot of celebrities, and like I'm sure lots of these people are like her buddies of hers. But like every time one of them is up for like an Academy Award, she's the person being like sharing it and being like, "This is my friend is up for the Academy Award. I'm Sugar Lynn Beard." Academy Award, my friend. It's like trying to put her name in with like this other, like trying to always associate herself with these other people. And it's like, this is sad. Like I kind of want her to just like fuck Hollywood, fuck LA, come back to Canada, do something cool in Canada, and then like
Hey, maybe do something cool like in Saskatchewan with like a cool production company that's like doing things. Maybe
And we're not doing a porno with Sugar Lynn Beard.
be a huge.
that's not where my brain was going at all.
You brought up David, and then we started talking full frontal, and now you're begging her.
That's not what I said. That's not the sentiment that I was
That's
presenting.
unfortunate. Andrew's so tuned in on pornography.
Kumail. There's that crazy scene in
Kumail Nanjiani.
yeah, that he's like massaging her or whatever, and they're like laying on top of each other like naked and shit. It's like I would like it'd be fascinating to be like, what the fuck was that filming that like you're forever on film with Kumail Nanjiani back before he was really anybody or like before he found
Blew up.
like mainstream success, and it's like he's fucking like massaging your butt, like smacking your butt, and like
he's
laying
also
on
like
you upside down
swinging
naked.
with his ass against her ass.
Yeah, like all this weird shit. Like
Yeah.
that's very interesting.
All right, here's another one. I think it's pretty good. So would you rather, if you had to either secretly be a witch in colonial New England So you are actually a witch in the time of the witch hunts, colonial New England. Or you alternate between being a goat and a human every other year. So 2020, you're a goat. 2021, you're a human. So New Year's Eve, like a pumpkin, you switch flips every year.
It's so funny because like a lot of these questions, I'm not even the initial like the thing that you're presenting me with isn't even the thing I'm considering. I'm considering with like the witch thing is like fuck, I have to live without all this modern technology.
Yeah,
it's like that to me like I don't want to do that.
I agree.
It's like it's got nothing to do with being the witch or any of that shit. It's just like I don't really want to live in the fucking whatever 1600s.
It's both though, because like you're living in the 1600s, plus you're also at risk of being lynched essentially.
But it's like if you're a real witch, because I'm gonna assume there were no real witches, and I have no way of proving this or disproving this. But like, let's say you're a real witch, and let's say that mostly fake witches were killed, or let's say like exclusively fake witches were killed because you're. I feel like a real witch would be crafty enough to like get around any sort of inquisition.
That's true. That's a good point.
I'm gonna pick the goat thing, so I can stay in modern times. But that brings up an interesting question.
Can you live twice as long? So that
obviously,
waste afterlife?
No.
Some people get ridiculous, and this is very well proven with one of those guys who's like, if I could go back to medieval times, I could conquer the world because I have all this information. And then he's like, that guy tried to build a toaster in a year, and he couldn't even make a functional toaster. And it's like, I actually only know about this technology. I don't know how any of it actually works. But there is certain things of information that we have that would be very valuable if we could go back.
Oh, go to pre-crossbow and build a crossbow. You are now the richest man in the country.
I don't know if you can build one though.
I think you could learn how to build a crossbow.
I think if you genuinely knew the mechanics.
Well, I'm saying if like
probably it's like, primitive enough. Yeah, it's primitive enough.
It's a fucking pulley with a release trigger.
Here's my clarifying question. It's like, is it like you're going to be sent back in time in 2 weeks, or is it like right now I'm just being sent back in time? Because like obviously if I'm just being sent back, I have no time to prepare.
We'll say both of them you have until New Year's, from now until New Year's.
Okay, yeah, I think I could learn how to build a crossbow.
Now here's where my quandary comes in. Our standard of life now is better than the most powerful person, essentially the most powerful person on Earth in medieval times, short of being able to have like...
We're talking colonial, not medieval.
Yes, like our standard of life currently is better than the richest person in 1985. Like way better, way fucking better.
No, see, that's where I disagree.
No, it is.
I disagree with that only because
just this thing has like the quality of your life has skyrocketed so astronomically. It's like your access to information, your access to media, your access to like food, your access to like.
It depends what you value, I guess.
Depends on what your metrics
like
for
I'm
success.
trying to think of like what it's like. I guess you can go jet ski. Like what could a really rich guy in 1985 do that I would fucking want to do?
I like live in fabulous homes, go on crazy vacations, because travel is it's
like your geographical location.
Do uncut cocaine.
So my question is this: what decade would you go back to? Because you could still live through this decade if you went back to the 70s. You could still relive this time period, but you could use the knowledge you have now to propel yourself into a serious position of power. But it's a fine balance, but because the further you go back, the more successful you could probably make yourself. But how far do you want to go back to not be able to see the future?
I mean, it's weird using this timeline because like to achieve like basically peak success, and when I say peak success, I don't mean like literally the peak, because there are some people you could never reach that. But it's like all you need to do is go back to 1981, invest in Apple, invest in Microsoft, and now you're one of the you're in the top percentile richest people on the planet.
And I don't disagree, but now you have to experience this time period in your 50s or 60s instead of in your 20s. Is that trade-off?
Yeah, but I'm saying you'd only have to go back to like 1980. Like it's not that far back.
I'm just saying you're still losing 30 years.
Invest. You couldn't be like
no. I'm saying I'm not saying you get
current age or am I
your current age.
Well, because like I guess like then I would just move it back 22 years from that, and then it would match up anyways.
I'd want to be like a T. Ideally,
28 years.
Ideally, I would say being a teen, being 18 in the 90s. If I could go back instead of being born in 1992, I want to be 8. Yeah. So I'll be born in like
you can invest in Facebook and Amazon, and you'd be
a teenager through the 90s, and then be ahead of all that tech stuff and know about it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it sucks. Like currently, And like the global fucking trading market has really kind of ruined the time travel premise, because like that's the thing, you don't need any specialized knowledge. You literally just need to know what country is going to blow up 10 gajillion percentile financially, and then I just need to invest in that thing. And now you need to do zero work.
No, I'm just saying like justify like because it's like yeah, you're right. If you want to go back to the 80s, invest in Apple, but now you lose those years. So do you do the 90s with Facebook or?
Well, yeah, I would just say whatever the most recent blow up is that would catapult you into being like a multi-millionaire, and then just do that one.
Bitcoin.
So like save the most amount. Well,
I think Bitcoin, the thing for me is like I love the trappings of the modern age. I also think that I would have liked to have enjoyed life before that and see what that was like.
Me too. Yeah.
So like I'm thinking ideally if I could be born like.
See, I'm taking the witch thing. Also, just to like circle back to the original question, I'm taking the witch thing and I'm going to take over colonial times as a real witch.
Well, it was a goat. Like this is what we're talking about has no relation to the two questions that we were.
It spiraled into an interesting thing. You said goat thing and you said goat thing.
No, I ain't doing the goat.
I was thinking more of the
you're cutting down my life by half. I'm not giving up half my fucking.
I think life.
You're fully sentient as a goat. There's maybe some cool goat.
Wait, I'm a goat with the intelligence of a human being. I would make so much money.
No, but you can't speak or anything.
No, but it's like if I'm a goat, I can hold a paintbrush in my mouth and I can make crude fucking drawings. Like any animal that can paint remotely sells those paintings for like tens of thousands of dollars. Like fuck yeah, I'm monetizing the shit out of the goat thing. And it's like half the time I'm a person, so I can even become the person to be like, hey, I turn into a goat for a year, and people will be like, no fucking way, and I'll be like, bet, let's make a bet right now. Put down $1,000 that I'm not gonna be a goat. And it's like, then just get everyone to bet tons of money because no one is going to believe you that you're going to turn into a goat. And then it's like,
yeah, like
baby,
huge
I'm a goat now.
Agencies might
fucking
even take
idiot.
that on.
But then you have to live as a goat. I don't know if that would be good or not.
Yeah, I agree. Living as a goat would suck.
Like that.
But it's like, let's say...
Or it might be awesome. I don't know.
I'm trying to think. It would kind of be like...
Plus, then your sense of self would be so fucked.
So fucked.
Half the time you're in a goat body, half the time you're in a people body.
Yeah, and it's like I like having hands and like I like all the stuff I have as a person, and you take that away from me.
Plus, you would have to be a person who knows what human food tastes like, and then eat things that are optimal for a goat.
If I can, with the money I've made from the goat venture, if I can invest in some sort of robotics firm like Boston Dynamics to make me a suit of robot armor that
a people suit for your goat
gives me the abilities of human being, so I just have like a goat head, but then I have my like Gundam, my robotic cyborg person suit. Yeah, we can make it work. We can make it work. Maybe the goat thing.
I want to be 12 in 1978.
Okay.
78.
That's an interesting thought.
Why 78?
I get to grow up, see most of the 70s, which I'm fast. I don't really care that much about the 60s. I'm more fascinated by growing up in the 70s. I think that would be the perfect era for me.
Being a teen in the 80s.
Yeah, getting to be a teen in the 80s. And then growing up in like grunge 20s, like late 20s.
Being an adult in the
90s. And then I'm still getting to enjoy the modern stuff in like my 40s, 50s.
I don't know, man.
I could get behind that.
It seems like
the 70s were the best decade. If I could do anything, I would be in the 70s.
It seems like there was this like huge societal, or at least my perception is that there's this massive societal angst and like pessimism that cropped up in the 90s.
But if you grew up knowing, like, if you knew
that it was all just crap,
that it was all gonna, like, also imagine the concerts you would see and like being able to like know what bands were gonna be, like, you know what I mean, and being able to go and experience, like,
can you imagine, like,
oh my god,
if you grew up in the 70s, be like, find where the Eagles are and get glum onto them when they're a nothing band or whatever band you like Elton John, the Eagles, the Rolling Stones, be like, I think you guys are going places.
It'd be so weird to go like in the 90s.
It's like, no, nobody believes in us. It's like, no, I very much believe in your success.
Really start.
And don't forget that I believe in your success.
Become friends with Kurt Cobain. Like, really build him up. Get him away from Courtney. Like, really help him. I was
gonna say, it's like
with his depression and like
butterfly effect stuff. It's like you're sitting at a concert for like the In Utero album, and you're like, oh god. Oh, he's so sad right now. He's so close. He's so close to fucking ending it all.
Now to take things to a much more realistic and
rational,
interesting
regional
place.
Approach.
Would you rather have penis feet or have a scaly reptilian cock?
penis? Like, is it penis toes or is it just a single penis?
We have to decide that first, and you pitch me as to why.
I could
one
go.
over the other.
I could go the rest of my life without wearing sandals, so penis feet, I can hide them.
I don't know.
I think
is it like a dragon cock? Because there's chicks who have like fetishes for that kind of thing.
It says specifically scaly reptilian cock.
Dragons are reptiles, right? In traditional media.
Dragon cock. You want dragon cock?
Maybe. I don't know if I want like a little lizard dick, but you say dragon cock, and now I'm intrigued.
Reptilian, so I think there's room for interpretation there. In terms of the penis feet, I guess
Komodo dragon cock.
You get to decide what your penis feet look like,
but
like. No one can look at them and be like, those aren't penis feet. Like they have to be like, it's obviously those are penis feet.
That's like our friend.
Well, then I would definitely, because like if your feet are just if there's like a single penis on either, like your feet are just a penis, you're not walking anywhere. That's not doable.
I think
if your
it's
toes
like toes
are penises, then you can walk.
I think penis toes, because then the spirit of the question isn't essentially not have the use of your legs or
that's what I'm saying.
A reptile cock.
My brain always goes to the like, I don't really want to not be able to walk anymore. It's not so much the penis thing. It's like I want to be able to walk.
I think it's your feet are penises in that. I think the penis toes.
I'm gonna look up what a Komodo dragon's penis looks like, and then I'll get back to you.
Andrew and I had a friend in high school named Riley Hancock, and I used to call him Riley Foot Pussy.
Because it was the opposite of his last name.
Hancock.
I
don't know anybody with the last name Hancock now, so it sucks.
Oh my god. I think they might have two penises. They do. What is this? What is this fleshy mound? Oh, they do. Komodo dragons have two penises.
Let's see this.
No, they don't have two penises.
Yeah. Well, or it's one penis that just parts, but it looks, for all intents and purposes, it looks like two penises. How do the
Komodo dragons have two fucking penises?
Forked penises.
Forked
Komodo dragons can
penises.
Komodo dragons can reproduce either sexually or by virgin conception, depending on environmental conditions in the wild. They usually reproduce sexually, but females in captivity have been known to reproduce by parthenogenesis without the need for sperm. Female Komodo dragons lay a clutch 15. Blah, blah, blah. I want to look at the penis stuff, please. Yeah, I'm gonna control find here.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the foot penis thing seems very inconvenient.
Man, how can they fucking reproduce asexually? That's disgusting.
Quite a few animals can do that.
If human beings ever figure
it's not good. Like generationally, it's not good for animals to do it for like extended periods. But for like a single or two generations, just to keep the species going, it's such an advantageous like evolutionary thing.
Like, do they get fucked up if they keep asexual?
Oh yeah, it's like ultimate like inbreeding. Yeah,
yeah, it's like you're biologically you don't develop at all. So like if you think about how diseases and mankind progresses, like as we reproduce, we keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger in most ways. Like survival of the fittest, that's the whole thing. But it's like if you just keep copying the same thing over and over and over again, then you have no ability to like adapt to the future.
So explain peanut allergies to me then.
Explain them?
I'm just being funny because
also they've got two vaginas and the male's dicks and balls are upside down. Wait, so the beans are above the frank? This guy says.
So do you take the penis feet or the scaly cock?
They're called hemipenes.
Hemipenes.
They have their own word.
I'll take a hemipene.
They're small. They're not big.
I think I take penis feet and I make a career out of being the penis foot guy as a porn star. And like make a series of foot fucker videos.
They're called hemipenes, while each one individually is called a hemipenis.
The more you know.
With a single testes. They have one ball and two dicks.
And they have
what an odd animal.
And they have
everything
opposite.
backwards.
Yeah,
and they have
backwards.
The beans are above the frank.
Sperm produced in the... Oh, wait, no, what? Oh, maybe they only have one set of balls. Maybe that's what they meant. Sorry, maybe I misread that. Sperm produced in the right testes are ejaculated through the right hemipenis, and those produced on the left come out of the left hemipenis. Easy peasy. Huh. Yeah, this is a weird looking penis. I want to go back to the dragon thing, and I'm going to look up... Okay, if you're at home, I want you to go on Google, and I want you to look up bad dragon toys for adults, and then find the biggest one, and then that's what my dick looks like now. And we'll go with that.
Why do you know what that is?
Why do you get
Bad dragon? I don't know why I know that, but I do know that.
Holy, we have just uncovered something here on the podcast today.
I want to show you guys this.
Oh no!
Biggest bad dragon. Biggest bad dragon.
This is so bad that
This is not good.
I don't know why.
Oh.
Like,
Oof.
what has Amy done to you, Fran?
Fuck me with a big fucking dildo. Oh, I don't. Oh. It just, every time you go on those sites,
You're gonna show us.
the thing is, like, they come up with something new, and you don't know about the new thing, and then you see the new thing, and you're like, like,
See,
why?
How often are you going on these
I'm
always
not a
something new.
frequent visitor to these sites, so
Well,
I can't.
I'm just like a once a day kind of a guy, but like, I'm not doing it that often. Like just once.
Yeah, I'm gonna sing something pure.
Oh, they're so
Each
terrible.
Pokemon to understand the
They're so
power that's
terrible.
inside.
Oh,
I will
okay, these ones
travel
aren't that
across the
bad.
land.
This is
searching
upsetting to the soul,
for
and this is no good.
So
This
that's the
this
one.
He's
is-
talking about
this is- no, look at this one.
the power that's
Okay, wait, no, where's the? Oh, I hate some of these. Okay, this is no
a
good.
courage will tell us through.
I can get behind.
teach me
I can get
and
behind.
I'll
I can be like,
teach
yep,
you.
all
That's
the.
a dildo.
Yeah, well,
Okay,
it's made
I'll
by people who
catch
make
it.
them, anyways.
Oh my god, it's like a foot that's meant to be like a dragon
paw.
paw.
Well, no, they don't just make like they make like tentacles and shit.
Jeez,
That's just the name of the
Christ.
company.
Searching forward, why?
But like,
Degenerates,
yeah,
all.
some of this stuff is you can't describe it any other way other
What the fuck is that?
other than, well, that's just a tongue. That's not that bad. But I mean, like, if you're looking for like a horse penis dildo, I'm sorry, you're a degenerate. Like, you're not a bad person. That's fine to have weird kinks, but it's like you're simulating sex with a horse, and I just can't get behind it. I just can't. I'm sorry, I just can't do it.
I mean, these people clearly can, but there's a market if there's a whole fucking.
Oh,
business
they
around.
do for men now. Oh, I gotta.
that's
stop. I gotta
upsetting.
stop.
we were
That
I
is
have to
upsetting.
stop.
That
We were-
was upsetting.
we were supposed to be talking about Pokemon.
This would be like fucking a Pokemon.
We were supposed to be talking
If
about
you-
Pokemon.
if
if you had to engage in coitus with the Pokemon,
We were supposed to just be talking about Pokemon.
do you pick the most humanoid looking one? Do you pick like a Mr. Mime or a
No,
Jinx, or do you go
I don't.
like?
I can't. Like they're animals. Like it's tantamount to fucking bestiality. I can't.
I agree.
Oh,
Actually, no. You know what?
oh my god.
Meowth, because he's sentient, or like Mewtwo, because they speak. Like the ones that speak, Lugia, Meowth, Mewtwo. You
What
can
about-
fuck if they consent?
Chikorita,
you can fuck-
Chikorita.
That's not. You can fuck the ones that speak because they can consent, but the ones that can't speak,
Francois Denishan.
No
You can
good.
Fuck the ones that speak.
that can consent. That's important.
Enthusiastic consent.
Yes.
Also.
They need to understand what is happening. Be like, I am going to mate with you. Like this isn't like a fun
Ugh.
Pokemon trainer.
That
This
makes
is for
me think-
my gratification.
That makes me think about that.
Why is Toby
article-
emailing this us?
What?
Who's Ryan?
Ryan?
Oh, Rylan.
Rylan.
Hi, Brad and Rylan.
Why
Peter Mills would like to do a pre-taped interview for CBC Radio. You would need to be available tomorrow before 1 p.m.
I guess they're just getting like sound bites from everybody, maybe.
I guess so, but it's not Lisa. It's Toby. That's weird.
Toby must know.
This happens to us all the time. Like we're constantly being interviewed.
Interviewed and
Yeah, we're gonna switch from talking about which Pokemon would you fuck to, yeah, we're so busy we're getting these interviews, but no, we all here value consent and would not ever engage in sexual act with something that with a being that couldn't consent. So that's the real answer to the question. I think
I can get behind that platform.
we
You got
should,
my vote, buddy.
I think we should maybe cut that segment, but it's not going to happen. So we soldier on.
What do you mean? We said that's such a non-harmful take.
No,
it's the best take.
of course it's that. I mean,
it's the greatest
just
take.
generally that segment's a little bit. Ugh.
We're definitely
but-
pushing the boundaries of necessary discussion. But at least,
Hey, that's-
at least we're coming to the proper conclusion.
We are in year 9 of this fucking thing. So,
I feel like we're much more tame now than we used to be.
oh yeah. I was going to say, it reminds me of that article. I think, I'm not sure if we talked about it on the podcast. I'm sure we did. But the guy who's like trying to advocate for like, I consensually fucked the dolphin. And he was like, yeah,
Yes.
it wanted me to fuck it. And
Yeah,
it's like,
did we read
no.
that on the podcast?
I'm sure we did.
Yeah.
That was so fucked
That
up.
one is really upsetting, yeah. But if you ever want to go on an internet rabbit hole, then have a read of that. Because it's definitely something to read, that's for sure.
Okay. This is an easy one, but I like it. So you got it. Take on Colonel Sanders' identity as your own, fully, down to the accent, everything.
This is great so far.
Or your height fluctuates by 3 feet every day.
Colonel Sanders. How tall is Colonel Sanders?
Probably like 5'11".
That was just an absolute shot in the dark. I have no idea.
If I had to guess, I'd say 5'11".
Man. Andrew and I were talking about him today, but and I've gone on a bit of a rabbit hole. Dr. Disrespect is a huge man.
Oh, he's like 6'7" or something?
6'8".
Yeah.
1.78. Colonel Sanders was 5'8".
Oh, I was giving him 3 inches.
Not a huge man, but also not. He's pretty average. That's like what 5'9" is the average height for men.
Yeah, I'd probably say 5'8", 5'9", about my height.
Yeah,
very
if that.
extremely average.
Depends. Are we talking with your lifts or without them?
I'm low, I'm probably like 5'4", so he'd be like 5.
Yeah,
He'd be like 5.
You're like 5'9" with your lifts, and then
yeah, but he'd be like 7.
Man, speaking of fucking height, short people. We were at that. We recently had a show at Amigos for Weapons and the Radiant and a band called Captain, which was really lovely. If you get a chance to see any of these bands, they do really good live music. Go check them out. But there was a blonde girl I saw there. Because like Amy,
holy fuck, was she small?
Yeah, so like Amy.
Yeah, I thought it was a child at first.
Amy's like kind of the small, like person I interact with is like one of the smallest people I like regularly interact with, and this girl was like a full head shorter than Amy, and then fucking bone thin, and it was like,
and she was not disproportionate.
No,
she was a proportionate regular human being.
Just so small. Yeah, that was the other thing. Is like usually when people are shorter, you're like, oh yeah. Whatever, it's like some
sort of dwarfism.
No, it just it looked like it's like everything.
Like
looks...
you just like took a person and literally took the scale and then just scaled them down.
Yeah. That was it. It was interesting. Like she, one of the smallest people who are like properly proportioned that I've ever seen. But yeah, you don't see a lot of people that are smaller than Amy.
No,
so
Amy's quite small.
Yeah, so it's quite short. I'm like, how does it feel to be like
Amy's about
tall?
as small. Amy's about as small as you can get before. It's like notable how small she is.
Yeah, because like
she's like right on the edge. Like she's tiny, but it's not like in public. Like whoa, she's tiny.
Yeah, because it's like I think if you're at that 4'9" or 5 foot level, then it's like
whoa.
People are gonna keep bringing up.
It's kind of like being over 6'5".
Yeah, then people are gonna be talking about how tall
the second you're over 6'5", it's like whoa, how tall are you?
Yeah, you kind of
have play basketball. Blah 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 blah.
You know that range in when you're a dude. Where it's like people are never going to bring up your height because you're just in that average.
And the best part is, if you have a really short, abnormally short, and abnormally tall person in a room, the people who know each other will try and get them to take a picture together every goddamn time.
Yes, it's very necessary. Look at the freaks, they say. Look at the freaks. What did I saw fucking. So we kind of brought it up, or I kind of brought it up the other day, but I talked about briefly like that documentary that was about the bodybuilder woman who murdered her bodybuilder husband. There was this line in it when they were talking about like when bodybuilding was kind of at the peak of its popularity, and like the shows, Mr. Olympia, and all that stuff was like had the max amount of money that they were working with.
Yeah, like the late 70s, early 80s, like.
Well, yeah, 80s, yeah, because it was like after the Arnold, because Arnold kind of like blew it up, and then it was like then it got bigger and bigger and bigger until like it kind of the millennium, and then it started to peter off after the millennium, and now we're not really into it anymore. But like, they were talking about when steroids first hit the bodybuilding community and how like crazy that was, and everybody's doing steroids, and of course everybody's denying doing steroids and all this shit. And this guy who judged them and who was like in charge of I can't remember if it was Mr. Olympia or whatever. He was like, so one year I instituted like really strict testing. Like I was like, nobody's doing steroids. We're not fucking letting anything go and whatever. And he said that like at the show that year, he had multiple people come up to him and say, let them do fucking steroids. I paid $120 fucking for this seat. I want to see some fucking freaks. I don't want to see this fucking weird, this normal shit. And I'm like, that is fucking wild. Like, going up to a guy like, I want to see freaks. Like, I want to see weirdos. Like, I don't want to see normal stuff.
It's kind of like how I feel about professional sports in general. It's like, let these boys do some steroids. Let's see what they can really do. Like they're doing whatever. It's fine. But like, let's see what fucking Adrian. Let's see Adrian Peterson. What can Adrian Peterson do as a running back? Jacked on fucking testosterone.
Can you imagine if you like fed you took LeBron James back to like 18?
Exactly.
It would be,
pump him full of stuff. Like, what could he do?
If you give him HGH, he'd be like 8 feet tall.
8 feet tall.
Mark McGuire and fucking Babe. Jesus Christ.
Have you ever looked at Babe Ruth's diet?
No.
Oh my God. I need to pull this up. It's fucking crazy. Going on so many tangents today, but.
Hemipenis. I bet you didn't hear that word before this podcast. If you cut... No, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop querying.
The Babe Ruth diet is probably one to avoid.
Oh, yeah, Barry Bonds. Sorry, that's what I meant.
So the great Bambino would wake up in the morning and eat steak and potatoes for breakfast, along with half a dozen eggs, then wash it down with 4 cups of bourbon and ginger ale, a real breakfast of champions. Later in the day, Ruth would consume 2 steaks for lunch, 2 steaks for dinner. Sometimes for a treat, he would throw lamb chops on top of his steaks, and would snack on up to a dozen hot dogs each and every day.
I love the idea of using different kinds of meat for garnish for your main
As an after-dinner dessert, he'd have chocolate ice cream and...
It's so funny when some of those guys who still to this day they're like, no, I was on steroids to like protect their public image. It's like, we know it's you. There's a before and after picture of you this year and then this year.
You can't grow
short of having your fucking blood to test. It is a certified fact. You can't lie to us. He's like, I was just hitting the gym big time. It's like, no. Liar.
Sometimes you'll grow 4 to 8 inches.
His final thing was, as an after-dinner dessert, he'd have chocolate ice cream and pickled eels.
Pickled eels?
Apparently, that's what they're saying.
Man, they can pickle.
Yeah, I really like the idea of garnishing your steak with a veal.
With more meat.
Yeah.
Different types of meat.
It's like for lunch, 2 steaks. For dinner, 2 steaks. And sometimes, if he was feeling it, he'd eat a lamb chop on top of the steak. And then as a snack, to eat a dozen hot dogs throughout the day as a snack in between 2 steaks. Can you imagine eating 2 steaks for lunch? And then I'm hungry in between lunch and my other 2 steaks I'm going to have. So I need to eat 6 hot dogs.
Fucking wild. Those guys are just like, and I also like, now it's all like, did you notice that models all smoke cigarettes because it cuts your appetite? These guys chain smoke cigarettes, ate thousands of calories a day. They were drunk all the time. That's what I mean.
And he was a professional athlete.
Sometimes.
Like, we're not talking about someone who, like, he was at the peak of his game. Like, some consider the greatest
athlete of all time.
Athlete.
This is worth it sometimes, but sometimes it's worth it to go back to when everything was black and white and eat 20,000 calories a day and be constantly drunk and smoking cigarettes and still get to live to like 75 because there's no preservatives in anything.
Because they had they hadn't invented all the health detriments.
Yeah,
yet.
gluten wasn't invented back then.
So they just the cigarettes weren't laced with a bunch of shit. The meat wasn't all full of preservatives. They just ate natural raw meat and hammered cigarettes and bourbon. I love eating bourbon, breakfast bourbon.
Bourbon and ginger ale.
Yeah, 4 glasses of bourbon
they kind of had that weird...
washed down with ginger ale.
And he's not singles. He's not drinking single.
Well, yeah, I mean,
glasses of bourbon.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Is like they worded it weirdly. I need to clarification because it's like it could be a mixed drink, but it's like because if you're drinking 4 full glasses of bourbon, that seems unreasonable. And like a thing that no one would do.
I'm guessing it's like a 2 fingers of bourbon a glass kind of thing.
It's like I like 8 or 10 ounces of bourbon for breakfast.
It's like my grandpa goes to the bar. He's like, Scotch, 2 fingers.
Yeah.
Just 2 fingers of Scotch.
Run the fucking thing up.
Fuck.
Thank you so much for joining us on episode 4 of this year's annual 12 pot. This year's 9th. Episode 4 of the 9th annual 12 podcasts of Christmas. I'm at Mike 3.
I'm at Mike 2.
I can't read.
And we'll catch you for some awesome guests coming up. We've got
awesome guests coming up.
Awesome guests. They're awesome, and they're guests, and they're going to be on future episodes, and they're awesome.
And they're coming up on this podcast later this month. Stay tuned. Do not forget, if you are watching this episode and you don't think that I can name, they never even asked me one of the Pokemon moves.
Here's one to end us. Here's one to end on. I think this is like super deep. I don't think you'll get it. Which Pokemon is number 73?
Oh, that's tough.
Oh, you said to go.
That was a good question.
I could probably give you, if you give me like a 10 number span, I could probably tell you.
Sure.
Like, let's say it's 65 to 85.
Sure. Give me, list them.
No. I'm just gonna tell you what.
Okay.
I can tell you one Pokemon in that range because I kind of know where they are, like in groups in the book.
Okay, so let me just like this. I know this is like we're extending.
What kind of animal is Arbok based on?
A caterpillar. Interestingly enough.
Trick question. You got it right. A lot of people would say a moth.
So just go first 151 Pokemon.
Yep.
Okay. Rhydon's too far back. So is Kangaskhan. So we kind of start with the starter Pokemon. Then we run through the birds and like Pikachu. Then we're moving on to some of like Oddish and Gloom and Weeping Bell. Then we move on to like Vulpix, Ninetales.
001 is
Bulbasaur. Then we're moving on to like Vulpix.
So we're gonna give you what give me one Pokemon between 60 and 75.
I'm gonna ask for one hint.
Okay, I will give you the Pokemon immediately before and immediately after.
If you do that, I can nail it.
Okay, so
give me 59. I don't even need the second one.
I'll give you 59 is Arcanine.
I'm gonna say that I'm pretty sure this is the area where the 3-form trading Pokemon rest. Like Ghastly, Haunter, Gengar, Golem, Graveler, Geodude, and
you're close.
Or are we like moved into Pokemon that don't have no evolutions?
60 to 75, I said?
Yeah.
So then you're correct about the Geodude, Graveler,
Golem.
They are 74, 75.
Okay, start at number 1, and I'm gonna kind of give you rough ideas of groups, and you tell me if I'm accurate or not.
Okay.
So we start with the first form starters.
Yeah.
Then we move on to like Rattata and Pidgey and Spearow.
Yeah.
And then we're kind of moving on to like Pikachu, Sandshrew, Ekans.
Yeah.
And then we're kind of moving on to like Vulpix and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then we're moving on to like kind of like Oddish and Bellsprout, Weeping Bell.
Arbok is kind of like Ekans.
Then we're probably moving on to like Persian and Meowth. And then like the Nidorans, Nidorinos, Nidokings.
No.
Really? When is that?
That's between. They're earlier. They're after Pikachu is Nidoran, Nidokings, whatever.
Okay, then now are we like in the 50s?
No. Meowth and whatever is 53. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, now we're moving into like Machop, Machoke, Machamp.
Yeah.
Haunter, Ghastly, Gengar.
You missed a bunch of stuff. Yeah. But yeah.
I'm giving you just rough.
No.
Have I already fissed like Jigglypuff and Cleo?
Yeah, those are earlier.
Earlier on, that's kind of a little bit earlier before them.
Ghastly and Gengar aren't till much after that, though.
Oh, I thought they were all one group.
They are, but they're like 82.
Okay, are we now
90.
moving to like Shelter, Cloyster?
That's right before Ghastly and Gengar.
Okay, and then now we're moving on to like Scyther, Mr. Mime, Kangaskhan.
Yeah, that's much later on.
Okay, Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan.
That's
like Drowsy, Hypno.
Yeah, that's after Ghastly, Gengar. Yeah.
Okay, and then Poliwrath, Poliwhirl, Politad.
That's 70, 71, and 72.
Okay, so yeah, and then,
60, 61, 62. Sorry.
Then we move let's get into the early hundreds. Here's when.
Okay, so give me the last 3 Pokemon if you can.
The very last in the whole Pokedex.
Yeah, the last 3. 50, 51, 52, or 50.
150, 151, 150.
149, 150, 151.
Well, the last 150 is Mewtwo.
Yeah.
149 is Dragonite.
Yes.
And then Dragonair's 148 and Dratini's 149. 149, 148, or 148, 147.
Yep. What's 151?
Oh, Mew is 151.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. You got those 100% right. What's before Dratini?
It's either going to be the rare birds or the
Yep.
legendary birds. It's probably Moltres.
Yes.
And then Zapdos before him, and then Articuno before him.
Yes. What's before Articuno?
I'm maybe that fucking Lickitung?
No.
Is it the fucking robot one?
No.
Kangaskhan?
No. It's big motherfucker.
Rhydon?
No. Snorlax.
Oh, that's a good one. I didn't know where that was.
Anyways, yours. What if? Okay, the last one. Just because this is a random. What? First of all, what number is Tangela?
He's late.
And what moves does he learn?
Tango's got to be like 130 something.
Close.
Later?
Earlier.
126?
Very close.
125?
Not that close.
127? 128? Oh, 122? 119? 100? 105? I don't know. Just tell me what.
114.
Okay, what does Tangela... Ooh, Gen 1 Tangela starts with... Oh, I don't know. That stuff. I don't even think I've ever used a Tangela. Like, Constrict and Bind, I know it has those moves in Wrap. And Growth? I don't know what levels.
Interesting stuff that our viewer definitely wants to hear about.
We got our own little tangent.
Pokemon.
Thank you guys so much. We have awesome guests coming up.
They're awesome, and they're guests.
And we're not going to talk about
future.
how much Pokemon I know.
This is the last time we're talking about Pokemon.
Except for episode 10, 11. And then other than that, so it'll be 4, 10, 11. We'll be focusing on my knowledge of Pokemon.
And Yu-Gi-Oh! Don't forget about Yu-Gi-Oh! All coming up after the break.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to have lots of awesome guests on the program. I've been one of your hosts, Yugi Moto.
I'm another guy, and he's another guy. See ya.
Drive safe.